beautiful Boulder, Colorado, where the lofty heights are matched only by the equally stunning terrain. And it is here in the shadow of the Great Flatiron Mountains at the home of what they call Mile High Soccer, where the Colorado women get set to kick off their Pac-12 conference season against the #1 team in the country, the Bruins of UCLA. Hey everybody, and welcome inside Prentice Field. Happy to have you alongside Jordan Angeli. I'm Christian Miles and Jordan. Well, we're down to the serious business at hand, our Pac-12 season opener here in terms of conference play. And if you look at these two, you couldn't ask for a better matchup.
Yeah, #1 UCLA comes here to Boulder, and this is a tough place to play. I think people underestimate the altitude and just how much that affects the game. So we'll see how much that brings a change to the way that UCLA plays.
You talk about UCLA, individual talents abound, but you can't overlook the form of Haley Mace, who's been flat out outstanding up top.
I think that's a great word choice because she has been. This is a girl that came from center back where she was playing last year, now back up top in the forward position, and she has not skipped a beat. She looks effortless in the way that she's playing inside the box, finding herself in pockets and then doing what every forward must do, putting the ball in the back of the net.
Well, you talk about the Buffs and their defense is going to have their hands full. Everybody talks about the defense when we talk about the Colorado Buffaloes, but you can't overlook the form up top of the defending 2016 Pac-12 Freshman of the Year, Taylor Korniak. She's been firing on all cylinders.
What I like about Korniak this year is she's playing this number 10 position where she can kind of float around and just see what's open. She scored 11 goals last year, already has 5 in the 2017 campaign. I think what's going to be key for Korniak today is not only the way that she breaks out of the midfield, but how is she defending against a UCLA team who is really good in the center of midfield.
They handled it last year, Colorado scoring the 1-0 upset victory, and you can bet UCLA want revenge today. All right, we're going to step aside. However, when he returned, it's back out to Prentice here at CU Boulder. We'll have a look at the starting lineups and the first half kickoff, the #1 Bruins and the Buffs, next on Pac-12 Network.
You're watching Pac-12 Network, where champions play. Available on Xfinity.
Hold on, Jill's texting me.
You have a message from Jill. Can't wait for tonight. Clapping hands, thumbs up, face with tears of joy, taco, unicorn, smiling pile of poo, winking face with stuck-out tongue.
Well, Jill's excited about dinner tonight. Totally.
The new Buick Encore with Apple CarPlay support for iPhone.
Smiling pile of poo? Maybe she's walking her dog.
Get 17% below MSRP on almost every 2017 Encore model. That's over $5,500 on this Buick Encore.
Saturday, it's a football doubleheader. First at 3. Will the sun come out for Jamal Morrow?
Morrow to the end zone. Touchdown. Washington State has a comeback for the ages.
Nevada and Washington State meet in Pullman. Then at 7, Willie Taggart is eager for Oregon's first Pac-12 matchup. Will his Ducks soar in Tempe, or will the Sun Devils clip their wings? Pac-12 football. Coverage kicks off Saturday at 2 with a pregame show on Pac-12 Network.
For over a century, the Pac-12 has been a catalyst for collective excellence. An extraordinary blend of 12 unique universities. Combined, we elevate team chemistry to an art form as future leaders and global game changers. Pac-12, the Conference of Champions.
Tonight, rivalry week continues with a rumble in the Rockies. Colorado and Utah go head-to-head. Tonight at 6 on Pac-12 Network.
Bushel and a peck, a bushel and a peck. Though you make my heart a wreck, make my heart a wreck, and you make my life a mess, make my life a mess, yes, a mess of happiness.
While other insurance companies just see a house, we see the home you've worked really hard for. So why not give it the protection it deserves?
This Pac-12 women's soccer game is presented by the new Pure Silk razors. Shake up your shave with Pure Silk Premium Disposable Razors. And by State Farm, here to help life go right.
The long-awaited debut in 2017 of Pac-12 conference play starts right here and right now with the #1 team in the country, the mighty UCLA Bruins, putting their top ranking on the line against a very tough outfit from Colorado. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. We begin with the home team. Colorado, managed, of course, by head coach Danny Sanchez. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Not a lot of changes coming in from the team that emerged victorious away to Denver. Vidger out, and Phillips will come into a starting role. We'll see Korniak and Barton up top. Meanwhile, for the UCLA Bruins, not a lot of changes as well. Villacorta coming into the midfield. A 4-3-3 setup of sorts, and Haley Mace, the talented junior striker, back up top after spending 2016 in the center of defense, has been absolutely sensational. The top goal scorer with 6 goals. We are underway. UCLA in the white on the road in Colorado in the cozy confines here at Prenup. It is the 10th meeting between these two, and UCLA looking for sweet revenge after losing in Boulder last year by a score of 1-0. Christian Miles alongside Jordan Angeli. Jordan, certainly both of these two head coaches talking to us this week in the lead up to this game, stressing how important a good start is.
And it's so important. It's the first game of Pac-12, and so there's going to be a lot of emotions flying. I think for CU, this is their home turf. They beat UCLA here last year, so they want to come out and have a good start. But for UCLA, I think that still kind of sits on their shoulders. They want to come to Colorado and prove that they can play here. It wasn't for lack of chances last year. They had a lot of opportunities. They just couldn't put one away.
Now, Colorado coming in 6-1-2 in their first 9 games, and the first touch of the game for the Buffs goalkeeper J.J. Tompkins, the sophomore, getting the start in between the sticks. We've seen a little bit of a rotation of sorts as she has alternated halves with Scout Watson, but J.J. Tompkins starting from the get-go in the all-important conference opener.
And how about the little message from Mr. Tim Howard himself this week? He sends a little video to J.J. Tompkins and Scout Watson, just telling them to mind the net well from the Secretary of Defense.
Mind the net. I like it. Colorado making their first foray into the UCLA half, trapped by Claire Winter, one of the co-captains this year for UCLA, in which are trying to locate the likes of Mace, who couldn't connect with Delaney Sheehan. So much individual talent, a full arsenal. Tegan Micah, the Australian goalkeeper, rounding into form. All these players getting fully fit, but Micah very difficult to break down. Here's Joss Origel playing at left back, part of an unchanged back four for Danny Sanchez, who saw his team's confidence lifted after a loss to Texas, back-to-back wins, 2-0 away to Texas San Antonio, and of course last week in the final non-conference game against Denver. You've been there as a player. How important are those last non-conference victories or last non-conference matches heading in to the conference opener?
They're important, especially when you're playing your rival right down the street. And for CU to go to DU and play that well, you bring confidence going into Pac-12 play, because this is a hard league to perform in, week out, and that's exactly what you want, to feel your best going into that.
UCLA, their perfect start, upended last week in a 1-1 draw against Pepperdine. And she couldn't quite connect with Zoe Gorowski, who holds down her spot at right fullback. So a throw-in for Joss Origel and the Buffs. So difficult to beat here. 4-1 at Prenup. Have a good defensive shape, and that's something Danny Sanchez is telling us, hey, we're going to have to keep our tactical shape and defend with discipline. It's the Bruins on the defensive as McCullough clears. This is Gorowski. And you know, for both of these two, when it comes to UCLA possession, the order of the day, but it's Korniak who wins it, lays it off. This is Becca Rasmussen. She's a live wire in her own right. Barton has support, and that one's smacked in by Massey, and a positive response here from the Buffs.
And right away, the first couple minutes of this match, Cassie Phillips has been all over the place. She starts this attack. A big tackle in the midfield. The ball goes to Rasmussen. She finds Barton, and that's exactly what Barton needs to do. She needs to hold up the ball, find the player coming underneath her. It was Megan Massey. She doesn't quite get it like she would want on her laces, but overall, good, solid attack for CU early on in the match.
They're going to have to hold their shape. Amanda Cromwell telling us, hey, you know what? We need to pull them out of their defensive shell, open up and start well, but especially important to defend on set pieces. They like to dictate through possession, and here's the freshman phenom, Ashley Sanchez, wide on that left-hand side, running straight at this Colorado defense, trying to play it through for Mace, who latches onto it. Flag is down, and that's a good piece of defending back there from Aaron Greening. Danny Sanchez telling us, hey, we must be disciplined in our shape of the team. Win the ball immediately, but what's most important, don't give it away right away and get caught out of position.
Those first few seconds after you win the ball are dangerous because the other team's flying.
Here's the long throw, headed on by Mace and cleared away by Korniak. Claire Winter now for UCLA, supported by Kaya McCullough, the sophomore defender from Mission Viejo, forming that partnership once again with the freshman Karina Rodriguez. A lot of youth for UCLA, as you would expect. Wide on that left-hand side, Mackenzie Cerda has her cross repelled by that Colorado defense. Claimed by Karina Rodriguez, the younger sister of Annika, who begins on the bench today for UCLA. Such a young, talented team. We taught it last year's sophomore class, headed up by Jessie Fleming, wearing the number 21. Here is the Canadian All-American.
She's just so smooth on the ball there. She couldn't find a seam that she liked going forward, but her eyes are up the whole time. She's not even looking at the ball. The control that she has is one of the reasons why she's not only playing and making a big impact on this team, but for her Canadian national team as well.
She's not in the goals like she was last year, and really has played a good part in build-up play and combining well with teammates. Is Colorado able to win it back? And the feisty Becca Rasmussen, she's that one lone change from the team that won at Denver, putting up a half a dozen. Loses out now, and UCLA reclaims. This is Haley Mason bearing down on that Colorado defense. Origel closing in. Mace looking for some support here. She's been absolutely fantastic as the flag goes up offside against the UCLA Bruins.
And we'll see you benches up cheering that, because that's a good back line, keeping together when Mace has the ball. She had to dribble across the whole entire field, so to allow her to play the ball offside is a good play.
There's Amanda Cromwell on your left, flanked by her assistant. Said, hey, you know what? The 1-1 draw against Pepperdine was just a blip. We created enough chances. We just didn't take them. No cause for alarm, and no real major change in the way she approaches Pac-12 play as opposed to the conference. A little bit of an uptick in terms of energy and focus, but the philosophy remains steadfast.
I think that's one of the great things that Cromwell brings as a coach is it's just consistent. The way that she reacts to things. She has led this team now for the past 5 years just with that consistent attitude. Not too high, not too low. Of course, enjoying the highs of the national championship she had, but she's been consistent.
Fleming heads down for UCLA, only to defeat the freshman defender Hannah Cardenas, who's been a revelation back there at the heart of things, along with Agnes. Chased down by Origel. This is Sarah Kinsner, the Canadian Youth International, playing it forward for Korniak. Lovely first touch from the sophomore, just edging out Jessie Fleming for that Freshman of the Year honor. What a campaign it was for Taylor Korniak, finding the back of the net 11 times, second best in conference play. But an interesting point I thought that you made at the top of the show here. It's not how important Korniak's going to be in terms of going forward. We know she can score goals. It's going to be the defensive side of her game that's going to be crucial as well. And
you look at this UCLA squad, and they're stacked from top to bottom, and you have to respect that. And I think that's one of the cases that I'm saying with Korniak is, yes, she needs to have her impact going forward and breaking out when she can, but the work that she does defensively, she's a good defender, and she has to prove that today and try to break up play that comes centrally for UCLA.
We're going to go with the midfield too, with Phillips and Massey holding things down, and this one going as scripted. UCLA starting well, having the better share of possession early on. Lovely turn in the center of the park by Villacorta, the freshman, and tries to play the channel. It's superbly read by Agnes. Good control by Cassie Phillips to locate Megan Massey, who can't dig it away from Jessie Fleming, and just giving it a ride is Erin Greening, who's playing on the right-hand side of that Buffs defense today. And I tell you what here, Jordy, this defense has only been breached 4 times. Colorado come in with the best defensive record in the entire conference, and we know about that record start for them, but 7 shutouts in 9 games. That really speaks for itself.
They didn't give up a shot on goal in their first couple games, so this is a team who's in exactly what you want in the preseason, to focus on how you defend as a unit, and they bought into it. They did a really good job. A tough game for them against Texas, losing 3-0, but also I think a really good learning lesson for them.
Led by Korniak, but the flag had gone up on Tatum Barton. It's going to be crucial how they link on the counterattack, with Korniak playing just behind. Colorado's confident, coming off a 2-goal performance over the weekend in that big 6-1 win at Denver. Second time she's scored twice in one game. We saw her do it, of course, earlier this season against BYU right here on the Pac-12 Network. UCLA having problems trying to figure out this defensive puzzle set forth by the Buffs. Korniak popping up everywhere, and that flare run on the outside from Barton just muscled off of it by Kaya McCullough. It's a good piece of defending from the sophomore.
And that's going to be a battle all night long. Both of those players don't shy away from physicality, so Barton and McCullough one-on-one in situations like that are going to happen, because CU is going to try to break on a counter.
Greening steps forward. This is Fleming. Tight quarters there. Ashley Sanchez has been on fire as of late. Likes to cut in on that inside channel, and her progress impeded by Megan Massey, who had enough of that.
Yeah, she stepped right in and said, "I'll take the ball for sure." What I think is going to be important when players like Jessie Fleming and Ashley Sanchez get on the ball for CU, they're going to have to make sure not only they probably double team the ball, but what are the other runs look like? Who's marking the runs inside the box? Because those two players have an ability to pick apart a defense and find the perfect pass within the 18.
Cassie Phillips, the junior. Kinsner. Good first touch from Tatum Barton. She's playing her first season up in Boulder after transferring from Texas Tech last year. Homecoming for her from nearby Littleton, Colorado. 4 goals and 2 assists. And becoming a regular fixture in this starting 11 for head coach Danny Sanchez. Touchback for Mackenzie Serta, operating at left back today, the junior. McCullough. UCLA attack that comes in ranked 13th in the country, second in the conference, just behind the high-powered attack of the Cardinal of Stanford. They've been absolutely sensational as of late. Here's Viviana Villacorta forming that midfield 2 with Claire Winter wide on the left-hand side. This is patented UCLA short, intricate passing, but it's nicely broken up. Phillips. A touchback for Origel is tucked inside, and she'll send it forward directly for Barton. Sophomore really absorbing a robust challenge from McCullough. So free kick here for the Buffs. All in all, UCLA here, Jordy, returning 9 starters from last year's team that finished 4th in Pac-12.
Not only that, but 9 players have already had a goal on the season. You're only 8 games into the season to have 9 players at least with a goal, 4 of them with 3+ goals. This is a team who flies forward. They have the ability to bring players in and commit defenders, and then the little dish passes from players like Sanchez and Fleming are really what gets UCLA going.
Free kick for Joss Origel, and right into the mixer, targeting Korniak. It drops, and that second ball is poked out wide. Here's Zoe Gorowski for the Bruins. And some tight quarters here. Tatum Barton charging down, and Micah wins it. Real crucial touch there, and good to see the Bruins keeper coming up after a pretty robust collision. UCLA might have seen Colorado take the honors the last time around. But prior to that, UCLA had won 5 in the last 6 between these two since the Buffs entered Pac-12 in 2011. Here's Villacorta for Claire Winter. Such a great story, Claire Winter. Been marginalized for so much talent throughout the years and fighting her way back into it. The 5th-year senior from Lafayette, California. A leader that kind of leads by example through hard work and dedication. And lo and behold, in her senior year, she's starting for the #1 team in the country.
Not only that, but I like that she's a captain as well. I think Coach Cromwell acknowledging, hey, sometimes things aren't going to go your way, right, in life, but it's your attitude, it's your persistence in situations that are tough that make you a leader, and I think Winter is a great example of that.
Here's Fleming dropping deep. Karina Rodriguez now for the UCLA Bruins. Sophomore the freshman from Torrance. Play it up and over the top and asking a bit too much of Zoe Gorowski. And we target Zoe Gorowski here, and so much of UCLA's success going forward is predicated on that wide play, and that puts a lot of pressure on J.J. Tompkins in that Colorado goal. She's going to have to be aware of those high balls coming across.
But I think the UCLA attack in that regards, using the width, that's where they're going to find success. I think early on in this match, the first 15 minutes, they're trying to go straight down the middle and make those little teeny passes through the midfield, which, yes, they are capable of doing, but I think there's more space wide that they can expose.
Let's see how it develops. Could be a fascinating chess match of tactics. A quarter of an hour gone, no goals. And our Pac-12 conference season opener, we've got a good one for you. Been waiting for this day for a long time. Viviana Villacorta lets it run across her body, supported by Karina Rodriguez. All in all, 20 underclassmen on this UCLA roster, and a lot of them in the starting lineups. In fact, 5 of the first 11 either freshmen or sophomores for UCLA. Correction, 7. Here's Fleming, one of those underclassmen. And just a slip there from the Canadian, proving that she is indeed human.
And both of them slipped, too. They faked each other out.
Here's Korniak into her own half. Calm and composed. Pushed forward now for Megan Massey, and the hard running of Becca Rasmussen, the transfer, who links up with Barton, or attempted to, but it's nicely intercepted by Karina Rodriguez. And here comes Haley Mace for the Bruins. Sheehan filling out the width for UCLA, supported now by Villacorta. Good interception, though, from Sarah Kinsner, but possession very short-lived.
And right when Mace got the ball, you could hear everyone saying drop. They don't want Mace to be able to get in behind her. So if they can keep her and Sheehan with their speed up front in front of them, they have a better chance of then the midfielders coming back and helping winning that ball off of those players.
Figure out this Colorado defense is not going to be easy. Something only 2 opponents have managed to do all season long.
And it's a back line with a true freshman starting and coming in right away, and Hannah Cardenas, and she has immediately impacted the back line. She stepped in and had no second doubt that she belonged there, and I think that confidence that she brought, the knowledge that she had from playing on a good club team with the Slammers, she was able to seamlessly just make the transition.
Colorado settling in that 4-4-2 setup. Villacorta trying to find that space in between lines. Keeps possession for UCLA. Winter wide. This is Cerda. And here is the explosive Ashley Sanchez ghosting by one and letting it rip. Not too much power, but a low roller in for J.J. Tompkins in that Buffs goal. It's going to take something special to beat J.J. Tompkins, already with 3 shutouts. And get this, a .321 goals against average, good enough for 11th best in the entire country.
But shooting from that distance, though, which Sanchez did, it is going to make the back line of CU have to respect that and step out. And then you can maybe find the little pockets of space that you want closer to the 18.
Here come UCLA trying to get in behind. Fleming plays it. Sheehan, the flag is down. Muscled off of it by Joss Origel. Good defending from the senior fullback. She did really well, but Kinsner caught in possession by Gorowski, and Sheehan just heavy on the touch, making it easy for Tompkins, who scurried off her line. And Joss Origel, she does it going forward. Perhaps this is an underrated aspect of her game.
Sheehan looked like she was in behind, and Origel does a good job of just getting goal side, able to get a little toe poke on the ball. It's all it needed, but that ball that Kinsner lost there after that play in the defensive third is the exact ball that Coach Sanchez told us. Those are the balls we can't lose, because then UCLA can pick your pocket quickly and get after you. And right after, her hand went up and said, sorry, everybody. So she's fully aware that that's not going to happen again.
There's some question as to whether she was going to play centrally. She had played center of defense in prior games this season, but Danny Sanchez is telling me, hey, you know what? She's a good fit, and that allows Agnes as well as Cardenas to put their best attributes forward into this Colorado setup.
And Agnes, too, only a sophomore, so this is a young center of the defense for Colorado, and they've done a really good job of leading the back line, and Tompkins, a redshirt sophomore as well. So those three, the communication that those three have to have in order for this to be a solid defensive squad it has to be high, and it has to be precise, and they're doing a really good job of fulfilling that.
Sophomores picking up 4 of the starting 11 today for the Buffs. Down the line, and Agnes coming across, pressured by Haley Mace, who's relentless in pursuit, and cleared away by Tompkins. There's no quit in Haley Mace.
She's just, she's fast, but she's a little deceptively fast. She can catch up to you a lot quicker than I think you realize, and she just proved that there, catching up to Agnes.
What a story she's been. And Sanchez trying to play it through, but Haley Mace hadn't scored a single goal in her first 2 seasons in Westwood, and now she's tied for 26th best in the country with 6 goals in those first 8 games. She's really produced in playing the role that she naturally played growing up.
She's a competitor. This is a player who last year broke her nose in training, and she was already playing the next day in a game. And she was playing center back at that time, so she just has a knack for the game. She knows where to be in the right point, and sometimes your best forwards are former defenders because they know how to get behind a back line.
Sheehan's floated over to that left-hand side. Gorowski tried to get on to the end of this cross, but it'll come out of play, and a goal kick here for the Buffs, and you get a good look at Haley Mace. Sensational. She had that hat trick against your old school. Sorry, I had to bring it up, Santa Clara, and what was a wild first half in Westwood last month. 4-2, UCLA ultimately walking out victors. The first half hat trick under your belt in your first year up top.
Not a bad stat.
Lofty accomplishment. Phillips for Greening. And here come Colorado trying to piece together some consequential possession. Possession with a purpose is what they say. Good spell now is Rasmussen trying to link forward. The back heel from Korniak. Don't know how aware of it Barton was, but UCLA able to win it back.
And I don't mind that from Korniak, but I also think that you're not going to get very many opportunities. So when you get the ball, you have to complete your next pass. And I think there, for Korniak, she has that ability. She's crafty, but I think right now you have to connect.
Here's Villacorta, the distributor, the linchpin in midfield, locates Gorowski. Good first touch here from Delaney Sheehan, who's been a slight revelation in that UCLA midfield, and specifically going forward. Amanda Cromwell saying, hey, we didn't expect her to be a starter, but she's fit right in, as has Ashley Sanchez. Good cross. The header from Mace just skimmed off her forehead and wide. But another menacing buildup from the number 1 Bruins.
And that's where Mace will beat you. She finds little seams in the back line, and there it's a dangerous seam between the center back and the outside back. This ball's clipped in really nicely by Sanchez, and Mace just trying to get enough on it to redirect it back towards goal. But you can't lose her. You got to body her inside the box. She had a free run there, and that's exactly what she wants. But if you're CU and you're focused on defense right now, you got to get a little bump on her before she makes the run.
We're at the midpoint of half number 1 in our Pac-12 conference opener. In women's soccer, the Buffs and the Bruins goalless. Been pretty even-keeled thus far. Colorado looking comfortable absorbing a lot of this possession from UCLA. The touchback for Karina Rodriguez. Villacorta slips. This could be costly. Massey. Oh, and it's a good recovery from the freshman. Cassie Phillips. Just mishitting that one, making it easy in the end for Teagan Micah.
And you keep saying freshman Villacorta, and it's really hard for me to believe that she is playing in the first 25 minutes. I think she's got on the ball more than any other midfielder. She's connected passes. She's calm. She sees the game differently, and I really like the way Villacorta is playing.
Christian Miles alongside Jordan Angeli. This is the business end of the campaign and the conference opener for both of these two. UCLA losing out last year at Prentice on a goal from Emily Bruder 10 minutes from time. UCLA very keen on exacting their revenge. Sweet feet in the around the world, you'd have to say, from Taylor Korniak there. Everybody talking about her physical attributes, but she's got some good technical skill as well for such a big, tall striker.
She reminds me of Yaya Toure, the way that he's just fluid on the ball when he gets it. He's a big player, but she has the ability technically to do a lot of things, but the presence physically as well.
It's a great parallel. Danny Sanchez now in his 6th season. Great campaign it was in 2016. Colorado getting 15 victories, setting a school record. Finishing 2nd in conference play, tied with USC with their best ever finish since moving into the Pac-12 conference in 2011. Here's Fleming. Locates Villacorta, trying to pick the lock, so to speak. And how about the backtracking from Becca Rasmussen, who will run all day long, and a free kick for the Buffs.
I talked to Coach Sanchez before the game, and he was talking about Rasmussen, and the numbers that she has for GPS units are just out of this world. She will work and work and work. And there's the little tug from behind by Serda on Rasmussen. This is a player who has really done a good job, transferred from Georgia, come back to home to Colorado, and she's skilled on the ball. When she has the ball at her feet, it's really hard to get it off of her. But her work rate, I mean, they're working all the way back into the 18, having to track that run, because if she didn't, that's a dangerous play for UCLA. So she's been a great addition to this squad.
It drops to the feet of Sheehan, who's tucked centrally. Muscled up by Cardenas, but it falls to Jesse Fleming, who gets stuck in, and Massey locates Cassie Phillips. Tackles flying in. This is Sanchez surveying the landscape and seeking some support. Goralski makes the run from the right-hand side. Positive from the Bruins. Goralski, no way around Kinsner. And it'll come out here for a Bruin corner kick. So we'll see how they line up here.
But that was the space on the outside. Goralski doing her job as an outside back to get forward. But the play by Ashley Sanchez, she sees the tackle coming. She just scoops it over the player's foot and then distributes. Cheeky play by the freshman.
And she's so composed, so calm, especially being such a tender young age. Just a freshman. Serda now standing over it. And markers at the near and far posts for the Buffs. They will have to be vigilant as UCLA have brought the tall timber chiefly amongst the targets. Haley Mace. They take it short. Sanchez sends it a low roller. And Colorado can't clear for Origel. Tries to set it up, but well closed in by UCLA, keeping up this sustained pressure. Goralski lifts one into the penalty box. Nicely repelled by Korniak and cleared away by Kelsey Ackness. Massey now for the Buffs, trying to orchestrate something positive, but can't find the link to Korniak. Colorado really absorbing a large lion's share possession, as they say. So change is imminent for both of these two schools. Wide on the left-hand side. Serda delivers, but that one drifts out of play, and we'll have the goal kick coming up for the Buffs. We're going to see our first changes. Colorado bring on Alex Vidger as well as Marty Pukatapu. Meanwhile, we'll see UCLA bring on the likes of Annika Rodriguez to bolster the attack. Tatum Barton coming off up top, so some changes in the attack for both of these two here, Jordy.
And Gabrielle Matlich comes in as well, outside back for Goralski, which is a good change. Goralski's been getting up and down the line. We'll see what Matlich brings now for the last 15 minutes of the first half.
Reclaimed by Vidger, who gets her first touch. Massey is dropped into a wider role on the left-hand side with Vidger. She likes to play that proverbial number 6 as that shield just in front of the defense. A good distributor as well as Massey into the UCLA half. Couldn't find the link to Korniak. We know about UCLA's long list of individual talent. What's interesting about it is there's no drop-off in quality when they bring on their reserves.
Yeah, they are deep. That is for sure. And they bring in a player like Matlich. They bring in Annika Rodriguez. And these are players who played a lot last year in the last few years if you're Matlich. And they are coming off the bench this year.
A player, a Spanish international, sitting on the bench with 5 goals. And Julia Hernandez, but now it's Colorado. The first touch for Marty Pukatapu. What a week it has been for her. Pukatapu, the New Zealander, making her 4th appearance for the New Zealand senior team in those recent friendlies, specifically on Tuesday in Cincinnati, coming on as an 89th minute sub against the USA after spending some time with the senior team last summer in Cyprus. Of course, not a bad way to celebrate your 19th birthday as well.
No, not a bad way. And this is a player who comes from New Zealand, and she just came over and did the school tour. The first stop, CU. And she comes to Colorado, and she loves it and decided not to go to any of the other schools. Basically had to show the coaches at these schools and recruit herself, essentially. So she's made her presence known. 4 goals already this season. It's been a good freshman year for her.
The first and last stop. What's not to love about Boulder?
Right.
Picturesque, to say the least. As McCullough pops one up. The header from Villacorta, and the taller Korniak sends it right to Jessie Fleming, who continues to buzz about in midfield. She's really given that extra freedom this year.
It's hard not to give her the freedom, though, just with the way that she plays, what she sees when she's on the ball. She has an ability to pick apart a defense, and when a player is like that, like Jessie Fleming, you got to give them freedom in the way that they attack. Yeah, you might ask a little bit more of them defensively, but when you go forward, just do whatever you want, whatever you see.
Given free rein. What a season she had last year as a freshman. Jessie Fleming, 11 goals, tied with Korniak. Nicely read by Megan Massey in that Colorado midfield. Really impressed with the shape here of the Buffs. Haven't lost their heads, kept their discipline. They know they're on TV. They're playing the number 1 team in the country. They are in the spotlight and responding.
And I think it just says a lot about them and how coachable they are and their ability to adapt. And yes, they're a team who can counter, but they can play possession as well. And I think that they know what they have to do, at least for a certain amount of the game, to try to frustrate this UCLA team when they're on their home turf.
Ashley Sanchez for the Bruins locates Delaney Sheehan, the 2 freshmen combining. Fleming. Good first touch there from Rodriguez. Plays it in for Fleming inside. Haley Mace skies it above the crossbar, and the best chance of the afternoon falling to the junior striker, but UCLA can't take it.
And Mace a little shocked, I think, herself that she didn't put that one away. That is a great build-up. And it starts by the ball in by Fleming. See Mace leaning back. The ball's always going to rise there when that kind of strike you have. But Fleming, the first ball in, it's a no-look ball by Fleming with her right foot. She's looking away from it, playing it across her body. Defend, and then it's that little short passes that you talk about that UCLA likes to play to build up to that point.
Let's see Mace miss too many of those. She was on target in that 1-1 draw shortly after halftime against Pepperdine last Friday. Here's Villacorta operating in the center of midfield. Good first touch from Mace. Sheehan. This is Annika Rodriguez. Has the overlap from Gabby Matlich. Matlich trying to take on Origel. Rodriguez can't quite pull off the 2-man game, and it'll drift out of play. And you look at Joss Origel. Has her hands full. Goralski making those runs here, Jordy. Now having to see the likes Monica Rodriguez bearing down on her, as well as Gabby Matlich.
When you talk about Orgel and the defensive work that she's been putting in, but this is a player who got Defensive Player of the Week at the beginning of the season, and it's not even because of her defensive play. It was because she had 2 assists in a weekend. She has 1 goal and 4 assists on the season already. She likes to get forward. She has a left foot like no other, so she can whip a ball into the box. But when she's asked to defend, she can do just that, and that was the work of her and the line behind her to keep a good line and get Rodriguez offside.
Ricky Tapu trying to drop it off for Korniak. UCLA on the throw. Sheehan supported by McCullough. 10 minutes to go until halftime. Still looking for our first breakthrough as the Bruins continue to build. And this Buffalo defense stepping forward with a high line, compacting the field. Mace trying to first touch her way through, lays it off, and the flag is up on Ashley Sanchez, offside against the Bruins. And that's more of that defensive shape that's so integral to this Colorado approach today.
It's huge. They have to keep a solid line, and it has to be in moments like that when UCLA looks to pick you apart and pull your line off, you have to stay together, and Orgel does a good job of letting Sanchez go offside. But how about that defensive work by Cardenas? Even if she doesn't get called offside, the work by the freshman there to get over there and slide tackle and give her keeper a little bit more work, that's big time.
Did well to come across. Can't sing the praises of Hannah Cardenas enough. A seamless fit. She's played coming into today 772 minutes, good enough for second best on this team, and she's only a freshman. Mackenzie Serta now for the Bruins, trying to boss the possession. Mace locates Matlich, first time touch for Annika Rodriguez, the sister of Karina. Beautiful ball through, sets it up for Mace, and how about a timely intervention in the back by the boss, and Hannah Cardenas sacrificing herself. What a key tackle that was.
It was a huge tackle, and I liked that Mace is not getting the ball as much as she wants up top, so she pops into the midfield, and then after she dishes the ball, she runs in through behind. There's the tackle by Cardenas. It was a really well-timed tackle, but that run from the midfield for Mace is really hard to track. Cardenas does a good job of sliding over and helping out her midfielders.
So the corner kick upcoming. Amanda Cromwell sorting it out with her assistants. Standing over at Mackenzie Serta. Beware the in-swinger. Sends it right into that danger area. Skims off the head of Korniak. Annika Rodriguez sends it forward. A little misguided in the end. But some good pressure from the Bruins. And we'll see another change coming up here for the Buffs. They're going to bring on Camilla Shimka, the sophomore Canadian under-20 midfielder. And off will come Megan Massey. And you get a look at Shimka. What a story she's been, fighting her way back from an ACL injury and scored her first goal in over a year last weekend against Denver.
And she came in last season at the beginning of the season and had a fantastic start. She's a really good dribbler. She's shifty on the ball, and it was hard when she tore ACL, but to get that goal last weekend, I think really boosted her confidence, really felt like she was fully 100% back, and that's hard after an ACL tear, so good to see Shimka feeling like herself again.
Vidger out-muscling Delaney Sheehan to win it back on Colorado's behalf. Alex Vidger, the junior from Castle Rock, says she wants to go into sports broadcasting. I guess we better watch out.
Yeah. Don't tell her we're here. She's going to take our jobs. That's great.
Pretty impressive GPA as well for Vidger. Close to a 4-point at a 3.7. And this is where Amanda Cromwell is telling us, hey, dead balls are going to be crucial. A little bit deep, you'd have to say, but J.J. Tompkins gives it a ride nonetheless. The flick is there from Korniak. Drops to the feet now of Phillips. Rasmussen, good first touch. In for Phillips. Plays it up. Pulled across, and Shimka's shot is held by Tegan Micah. Great build-up play from the Buffs as this one starts to open up.
This is where UCLA can look to break quickly.
Sheehan trying to play it into the path of Mace, and the lively little goalkeeper, J.J. Tompkins, shows off her mobility, but this was just great play from the Buffs.
And that slip-through ball by Cassie Phillips was perfect. Phillips, another player that came in, transferred from the University of Maryland, but already this game, she hasn't come off in the first half. She's really been solid in the center of midfield, linking passes like that. That one didn't quite get on target the way that Shimka would have liked, but I like the way Phillips is playing in that holding mid position for CU.
Vidger wins it back. Midfield doing its job. As McCullough 1v1 against Korniak. Colorado appealing for the throw-in, and they're going to get it. Final 5 minutes of half number 1. Intriguing to say the least. And Origel will line up this throw-in. And she's a towering presence and has a good throw on her. Sails over the head of Korniak, and McCullough will send it out of play. There's another chance here for Origel. Bukitapu. Drawing 2 defenders, chopped down by Annika Rodriguez. Colorado wants the foul. They're not going to get it. Come back for a UCLA throw.
It's a good step by Vidger on Mace. That's a player, if she receives that ball, she's so good. She's good on the dribble, but she's good with her back to goal there, to goal too. So she has the ability to turn. Vidger had to break up the play.
I'm going to call this one back and order Matlich to retake it. She's trying to scoot her way up the sideline a little bit too much, I'm sure.
You gotta try your best.
Hey, referee's right on top of it. Katya Koroleva overseeing things today. The woman in the middle. Good defensive presence once again by Taylor Korniak. That side of her game is paramount today for Colorado. Matlich just pinning UCLA in their own half. Here's Villacorta. Taken off of it by Shimka. Here's Becca Rasmussen, the live wire on the right-hand side, fighting through the challenge. Past Serta, she's done brilliantly. Becca Rasmussen, Ria Rodriguez in there as well. This is Shimka trying to pull it back and finally cleared to safety by the Bruins.
That was a perfect example of Rasmussen, and she can't get you can't get the ball off her foot. She gets into a tackle, and then it just bounces kindly to her. She figures out a way to get on the end of it. She creates something for the Buffs.
Well, she's going to take a rest here. Replacing her is going to be Courtney Fedor, the senior from Bellevue, Washington. Useful utility player that can play a variety of roles. Let's see where the number 9 fits in. Throw in for Colorado. Shimka. Good support from Fedor. Villacorta lunges and wins it back. Well won by the UCLA freshman. Sheehan shields well. A good distribution out of the back from the number 1 team in the country. Annika Rodriguez with full steam ahead for UCLA. Fleming for Mace. Just has it poked away. Had to cover a lot of ground there, UCLA.
And UCLA recognizing that CU had pushed some players up the field, but the way that CU recovered, there was really no counterattack on. That's where you'd like to see them just keep the ball, be patient, and then try to pick apart the defense, because they can. They've showed it a few times that just with a few passes and switching the point of attack, that they can find that ball into the center player and then run off of her. Fleming off of Mace has worked well already this half.
Colorado don't want to get into a track meet with UCLA because the Bruins can flat out tear you apart. Fleming. Her midfield partner Villacorta locates Haley Mace. A lot of black shirts in front of her, and off the head of Origel. Drifts out for Gabby Matlich, the senior for the Bruins. One of 6 seniors in the setup for UCLA. Corners keep popping up here So in the final minute of the first half, Colorado trying to remain vigilant. They do not want to concede at this juncture. And standing over, it's going to be Ashley Sanchez conspiring with Mackenzie Cerda as we head into the final 30 seconds at Prenta. And once again, markers at both posts for the Buffs. This one sent in, right in, and sails past everybody. Vidger flung herself at it. Foul called by referee Katia Koroleva. That's probably going to be the last chance of the first half. And it's gone as scripted, but 45 minutes in the books. UCLA 0, Colorado 0, and Jordy, an absorbing, entertaining contest.
Yeah, I think that CU did exactly what we expected them to do. Sit in a little bit, make it difficult for UCLA to break them down, and I think UCLA has found a couple of good times to just be patient and then see where the pockets open up.
We saw a good chance for Haley Mace. Colorado putting together some good movement and some good passes themselves. Right now, we're joined by Colorado head coach Danny Sanchez. Hey, Danny, thanks for taking the time. Let's talk about you guys. You absorbed a lot of possession, but very dangerous on the counterattack. What are your thoughts on the first 45?
Well, I thought the first 30 minutes were good. I felt at the end there we started to get stretched, but we need to do better when we win the ball. On the counter, I thought we could have been more dangerous, and especially when we're in the back third, we have to have a little bit more composure to keep it. A couple passes, they have numbers forward. They're attacking a lot. We got to be able to break that first line of pressure before we go.
Korniak doing a lot of help for you guys defensively. Talk about her play in the first 45.
No, she's all over the place. She's a true two-way player. She'll defend, she'll get forward, she'll defend every free kick. We'd like her more on the ball as we go forward, though, obviously.
All right, Danny, thanks for taking the time. We really appreciate it, and best of luck coming up here in the second half.
Thank you.
Coming up, it's the Pac-12 Halftime Sports Report. We'll send it up to Chris Francis. Highlights from Stanford's women's game yesterday, plus a preview of Pac-12 volleyball. Halftime here, UCLA 0, Colorado 0.
The Ducks have been flying high this season.
Go right.
And welcome back to beautiful Boulder, Colorado, here at Prenta Field on the campus of CU, our conference opener. Halftime here between the #1 Bruins and Colorado. Goal is through 45 minutes. Right now we're joined by UCLA head coach Amanda Cromwell. Hey, Amanda, thanks for taking the time. You guys bossed in terms of possession through long spells here. What'd you think of the first half, and what are you looking for more of heading into half number 2?
The first half is exactly what we expected. A lot of possession, but not really dangerous. Only 4 shots. I think Haley should have finished that one, and she just got a little off balance there. But we have to create a lot more chances just by our movement, combination play, 1 and 2 and touch passing. But this is the game we expected.
And it seems like when Via Corta gets on the ball, she really can dictate play. This is a freshman who's come in and really done a good job in the first 45.
She has. She has a great awareness, on the ball. She's a playmaker. She has really good vision. She knows what kind of pass to play at the right moments, and we're hoping that maybe she can spring someone.
All right, Amanda, thanks for taking the time. Best of luck in the second half.
Thank you.
It's time now to take a look back at our Pure Silk game summary. Shots. You can see UCLA, as Amanda just mentioned, 4-2 in favor of the Bruins, but it's those clear-cut chances that have been lacking here, Jordy.
And I couldn't have agreed more with her. Mace gets in those positions, and she doesn't miss those very often. She's within 12 yards of the goal. She shoots it over. This is a player who usually puts those at least on frame, but UCLA a few more fouls, and that's because when CU wins the ball back, they are trying to attack so quickly that UCLA wants to stop the counterattack. So fouls a little favoring them. And UCLA going offside a few times. That's the strong back line of CU and how well they've been playing.
Colorado coming in with one of the best defenses in the entire country, the best in Pac-12. The second half is underway, and the Buffs start us off kicking from left to right as the clouds have gathered in here in Boulder, but so goes the story with Colorado weather. So far, so good. But a great day for soccer. In the beginning of this Pac-12 odyssey here between the #1 team in the country and these feisty Buffs. And their resiliency has been tested, but so far so good for Colorado, who have only been breached on 4 occasions. 3 of those goals coming in a loss away to Texas earlier this month. And Colorado popped one up and out of play. Will be a goal kick here for Tegan Micah and the Bruins.
And it comes off a throw-in early, and that looked like the play that they were trying to execute at the end of the first half as Origel finds the near player, and that player happened to be Kinsner in this circumstance, and Kinsner not a player that sends the ball out of bounds very often, but those are the opportunities that CU has to take advantage of. Like we said, they withheld a lot of pressure from UCLA. They're going to have a couple moments, and they have to be able to be sharp in those moments going forward.
Pushing the center to the park now for Karina Rodriguez, wide for Matlich, who keeps her spot at the beginning of half number 2, and some changes coming in. We'll see Julia Hernandez wearing the number 10 for the Bruins, and wearing number 14 in white is Olivia Athens, the freshman from Atherton, California. So some changes here for UCLA. The reverse ball finding Annika Rodriguez, heavy on that first touch, and it drifts over the byline.
And I like that Annika Rodriguez and Matlich stay in the game after halftime, because I thought they came in the last 15 minutes and they provided a spark, and they really created an outlet out wide for UCLA. So they stay in, they stay on the same side. They're flip sides. They're still on the near sideline, but they're on the left side now. But they have the ability to work well with one another.
Colorado's defense with a goals against average of .418. 10th best in the entire country. Difficult to break down, to say the least. Here's Julia Hernandez, the Spaniard, with her first touch, supported by Athens. Now making her 8th appearance of the season. Playing 25 minutes as a substitute, Athens, in that 1-1 draw last weekend against Pepperdine. She'll slot into that center of midfield as it comes out wide for Matlich. Acres of space for the UCLA fullback. Drops that shoulder and cuts it back. Brilliant play. Chip to the far post. Over the head of Mace. However, Jessie Fleming will track it down. Possession kept on now, and safely out to J.J. Tompkins, who had to deal with Goralski bearing down.
Goralski's the right back. She's all the way up, getting forward, challenging J.J. Tompkins on that little slip-through ball. And that's the engine of this player. She just keeps going.
And going, and going, and going, as they say. But it's true. Goralski tireless, the redshirt senior from Naperville, Illinois. So much of that attacking play predicated in those wide areas. Goralski making those runs from right back, central to that. The throw in for Josh Origel and the Buffs. We'll get another stab at it here. It's an attack here, Colorado. It's scored 19 times in their first 9 games, so no slouch in their own right. 6 of those coming last weekend at Denver, however. Sanchez saying, hey, you know, it's still a work in progress. We're trying to get it right going forward. And Annika Rodriguez has won it back, and here come the Bruins in a 2v3. Rodriguez has Hernandez with her, and stepping forward is Aknes to win it. Well defended. UCLA able to get it back now. Fleming locates Athens. And that one really telegraphed easy in the end for Massey.
When CU wins the ball back, it's that next 2 and 3 passes that they have to connect to break the pressure that UCLA has around the ball. And not only with the Greening ball there, but with the Massey ball, again, they lose possession, and now UCLA is still in the attacking third trying to get forward.
A diagonal ball for Mace, and appeals for the handball. Referee points to the spot. It's a penalty kick for UCLA. The long diagonal from Jessie Fleming, and it pops off the defense. And a wonderful opportunity upcoming for the Bruins.
And here's the ball in by Fleming. It goes to the chest of Mason. It's just a hand. The arm's bent. It did hit her arm. Referee calls for a penalty kick.
So the defender's arm was not in line with her body, and well within reason of calling it. So stepping up is going to be Annika Rodriguez for the UCLA Bruins. And Rodriguez looking for her second goal against Tompkins. It's Rodriguez, saved by J.J. Tompkins. A huge stop for the Colorado keeper.
And look at the intensity on her face. J.J. Tompkins has been huge for CU. both last year and this year, and no maybe bigger save than that one right there to keep UCLA off the board early in the second half.
And that will lift their spirits.
And Rodriguez took her time. She looked confident coming up, but Tompkins read it the whole way. She made the save look easy because she was already there, knowing that it was going to go to her right.
She read it well. It was at a comfortable height. And all credit to the redshirt sophomore goalkeeper from Phoenix, Arizona. Danny Sanchez saying, hey, you know what? The starting job, even though she's got stiff competition from Scout Watson, the starting job is hers to lose here. She really had done herself a world of good in maintaining the gloves with that stop. Here's Winter now for UCLA as they resume possession. Hernandez twisting and turning, and she's wrestled the ground, and UCLA will have the free kick. And Hernandez very slow to get up. Junior from Madrid, Spain.
And she brings the ball underneath her foot there, and her ankle gets a little twisted. Just in the collision, her ankle goes a little to the outside, but it's good to see her up and walking.
So a free kick here for the Bruins. So Annika Rodriguez standing over it. So Cassie Phillips booked for the Buffs. A step over on the free kick off the head of Sarah Kinsner. So Phillips becomes the first player cautioned. UCLA foraging away wide in that right-hand side. Here comes Annika Rodriguez, pings one across straight into the gloves of Tompkins.
Interesting decision by Rodriguez there. She's dribbling along the byline, and she decides to go near post, just drive it, see if she can catch Tompkins off her line. But in the end, Tompkins again denies Rodriguez of any shot on goal.
So far, so good for Colorado, eyeing their 8th shutout in 10 games. And what a feather in the cap it would be if they could hold the number 1 team in the country goalless. But there's a whole lot of soccer to be played here in Boulder, the home of mile-high soccer, as they say, and altitude could play a role as this one develops. Part of the advantage of Colorado's home field.
And you would think right now, actually, it would be harder for CU because they're defending so much. The work defensively and the amount of energy they're exerting is hard. Yes, UCLA is not used to it, but they're not having to move as much as the CU defense is from left to right, shifting as UCLA keeps possession.
It's a lot more tiring to chase than it is to possess. Claire Winter for the Bruins, buzzing about. Locates Fleming, who's found that pocket of space, shouldered off of it by Rasmussen, who did well to win it for Colorado. Stride for stride was Becca Rasmussen. Can't say enough about the addition she's been since moving over from Georgia and coming back home to Colorado after 3 years down south. Gets it done in the classroom as well, a neuroscience major.
Quite the student athlete there. Definitely an emphasis on student, right? But that's quite Absolutely. The major.
Kind of the quintessential, the prime example of what it is to be a student athlete in this conference. Cardenas locates Origel, who's been pretty quiet. Trying to pick out Korniak. And Kaya McCullough not taking any chances, thumps that one well out of play.
The play stops as Julia Hernandez, I think, still just struggling a little bit after her knock there early on in the game.
They continue to play on, and the coaching staff for UCLA trying to appeal to the referee, saying, hey, Hernandez is still hurt, can't continue. They wanted play stoppage. So that's what they've got, and they'll make the change. Sanchez coming back in for Julia Hernandez, who is still feeling the after effects of that challenge by Cassie Phillips. That's what we mean, no drop-off. You bring in the #1 recruit in the country for Spanish International. Quite an arsenal. Meanwhile, headed over, no harm done. It's a little physical in nature, but in the end, a goal kick for the Bruins.
Turned out to be kind of an awkward collision there between Korniak and the defender. As she's going backwards, the defender just gets underneath her, and I don't know, I'd be careful with a penalty already called in this game for, yes, the ball hit the hand, but I wouldn't say it was an intentional handball.
Here's Sanchez, fresh left the bench, her first touch of the second half. Fleming trying to slot it through and return the favor. Great 1-2 between those two. Gorowski. Origel blocks the cross. Out comes Tompkins to corral it. Well, she's not the biggest of keepers, but I'll tell you what, she is spry and mobile. Talking to Danny Sanchez, saying, hey, she's like an old Jorge Campos, the old legendary Mexico goalkeeper. State Farm get to a better state, and how about the defense here from Colorado?
They have been solid, not only picking apart through balls for UCLA, but saving a penalty kick for J.J. Tompkins, but their line has been steady. They've stayed together. They're making it hard for UCLA to get in behind without running offside.
Becca Rasmussen kept it well by Barton, who drops into her own half. Always hard to dislodge off the ball. Barton, a physical presence, probably due to that training with Jordy Angeli growing up as a youth. Outside against the Buffs. Come on, you got to take a little credit for it, right?
I'll take a little bit of credit. No, Barton she is so strong on the ball. She has a good hold-up play, and I think that's why she's done so well for CU, is they like to target their number 9, and she does it really well, connecting with Korniak, with Rasmussen, and just allowing them to do the hard work and then getting back in front of the goal and putting it away.
Here's Athens for the Bruins. Sanchez, who drifts central. Winter. UCLA once again content to set up camp in the Colorado half. Athens trying to thread the needle for Fleming. A lot of black shirts in front of her. Fleming sending it through the touch back. Sanchez leaves it. Olivia Athens around one, lets it go and misfires wide. She just dragged it a bit.
And that was such good build-up play by UCLA. The small passes. How about this? Oh, chop. I see the player coming. I'm just going to bring it back to my left foot. She pulls it a little bit. Athens does with her left, but the flick back by Sanchez. Sanchez could have easily shot the ball. She thinks Athens has a better shot at it. That's another reason why UCLA succeeds, is because every player in attack has the ability to score, and they're not selfish in that as well.
Here's Korniak trying to find the link with Barton. Nicely read by Karina Rodriguez with a crucial clearance. Barton was through on goal. A testament to the freshman. When you're playing for the #1 team in the country and you're a freshman, you are good.
Yeah, and
she showed it there.
We talk about Hannah Cardenas for CU, but Karina Rodriguez has been a player, a center back for UCLA, who's come in and fit in really seamlessly too. Been a great surprise for Coach Cromwell, and no surprise, she played in the U17 Women's World Cup last year.
So Alex Vidgers come back on. Megan Massey to the bench for the Buffs. UCLA on the back foot. Origel couldn't connect, and they clear the danger away for the time being. Here's Cassie Phillips. Winter losing out. And she'll get the call from the referee. Korniak just sticking that big right foot in. Is right in front of the referee, Katia Koroleva.
This is a little bit of a height difference there between those two. Korniak slides her leg in, and she's 6'1". She's a tall player, and she's going against Winter, who's 5'3". So there's a little bit of a difference there, and Korniak doesn't win that battle.
Those challenges always amplified by the differences in size. Here's McCullough on the carry for Athens, who's found that pocket between midfield and attack. Sanchez now for the Bruins, trying to push it through. Winter keeps it alive. Matlich now joining in on the left-hand side of defense. Annika Rodriguez trying to drop that shoulder and work her way past Greening. She's done brilliantly, Rodriguez. And the help from Cardenas. Still Rodriguez. What a run from Annika Rodriguez. Set up, and Sanchez puts it home. Superb stuff from the Bruins, who would not be denied. UCLA grabbed the lead on the 59th. 1-0 here in Boulder.
And the work by Annika Rodriguez on the wit to get her second assist of the year. Here she is. She starts nearly 35 yards out. She keeps dribbling, goes through one tackle. Again, huge tackle by Cardenas. Rodriguez wins it, and then has the composure to get her head up. I think saw Mace originally, but Sanchez tucks in right behind Mace and puts the ball so calmly in the far netting. Great finish by the freshman Sanchez.
And Ashley Sanchez with the first goal of her collegiate career, and didn't she take it well? Cool under fire, opened it up, kept it low.
Yeah, and I mean, you would expect that with the pedigree that she's had already as a young player. She's played for the 17. She's played for the U20 women's national team. And this is a player who's come into UCLA and found her way with assists and now continues to find the back of the net.
My oh my, doesn't this change things? UCLA only the third opponent to breach Colorado's defense all season. Just the fifth goal that Colorado have allowed in the entire campaign through 9.5 games. And this could change the approach here. We'll see what kind of a response we get out of the Buffs. They've risen to the occasion time and time again. Back to Tegan Micah, and the attacking pressure from Rasmussen, who nearly nipped in there. Serda, and Sonny Dumphy is wearing the number 12 in white, checking in, trying to shield it. And UCLA will lose the throw. It'll go back to Colorado. So Martine Pukatapu, who's checked back in to lead the line for the Buffs. They look to make those adjustments. And you know what's interesting, talking to Danny Sanchez ahead of this week, what was really impressive about his team, the way they've been able to adjust on the fly in the midst of games.
And this is one of those moments where they've been playing so defensively. There's still 30 minutes left in the match, but how can they adapt and try to get some more chances on goal to try to pull a point back and then maybe a couple more points?
Here's Zaragel. Slices through it just a bit. Kinsner now for Cassie Phillips, who will go back to J.J. Tompkins on the hour mark. So they finally got their breakthrough, knocking on the door time and time again. They are far from out of the woods, however. Here's McCullough.
That's good work by Kinsner to slide in centrally and help with the pressure on Winter, because her forwards had gone to pressure, and there's a pocket of space there, and the outside player tucks in nicely centrally. There's working on the fly and defending on the fly as a unit.
The question here, did it drift out of play? That's what the Colorado bench is appealing, so Tegan Micah say nope. So we'll see what comes up now for the Buffs. We'll give them a little bit of a break here. This could play right into Colorado's hands. This is something that Amanda Cromwell, the UCLA head coach, said this is something we specifically have to pay attention. Colorado are deadly on these dead balls. Korniak chiefly amongst the targets as well, along with Vidger, the number 11. A big moment here as it's sent into that far post. Wrestling down to the ground. Korniak goes down. All eyes to the referee, who will not award the penalty kick. But it takes a lot to bring down Big Taylor Korniak, and she was wrestled to ground, that's for sure.
And the ball sent in by Oragel with her left foot. It bends back in to the goal, and there's Korniak, and that's a tough landing. She not only lands pretty closely close to her neck, but then she has a player come down on top of her, which is Dumphy, and it's a difficult challenge.
So Taylor Korniak appealing her case with referee Katya Koroleva. A futile argument, that's going to be, as it is every time. but you can't blame her for trying, and Korniak continuing to forge away. They do have the ensuing corner kick, however. Taylor Korniak trying to utilize her 6'1" frame. Origel on the delivery, and this will have a little bit of a different twist as the outswinger is coming from the senior. Over to that far post. Korniak makes contact. She appeals for the handball. It appeared it might have come off the hand of Dunphy, right back in, and Micah weathers this storm. What a sequence for Colorado. And the Colorado bench enraged right now. They thought they'd gotten the trip to the penalty spot.
Here's the ball in. It goes over the head of Dunphy, and watch when she turns back around. The ball goes right there off of her arm, and to me, that's the same exact play that we saw earlier. And if you're going to call the handball in CU's penalty box, you got to call that handball as well. So
wide on the right, back to the other end we go for UCLA. So some controversy, as you would expect in a match of this magnitude. The penalty kick for UCLA awarded via a handball against the Buffs defense. It appeared it did come off the elbow of the UCLA attacker, but no penalty kick awarded. So that's where we stand. And UCLA trying to tack on to their lead here, far side, as we head into the final half an hour.
Hey, watch it, dummy, watch it, dummy, watch it.
Standing over it. Mackenzie Serta conspiring there with Sanchez. It's going to be Sanchez with a delivery right into that sweet spot, and it sits up for Athens. Repel off the line, and Colorado dodge a huge bullet. Still alive for Jessie Fleming, who oversteps, wins it back, however. Karina Rodriguez. The dummy from Fleming, beautifully played. It pops out for Claire Winter, who whips one across. She's got some targets in. Just sails over the head of Mace. This is Ashley Sanchez, the goal scorer. Drops that shoulder and heads to the right. Twisting and turning, gets the cross off just over the head of Dunphy, and there was Serta at the far post. And Colorado come away unscathed.
That was really good work by Sanchez. It all starts from the corner kick, sent into a dangerous area, and the second clear by Vidger is not good enough. It goes low. UCLA keeps it alive, and then eventually Sanchez finds her way on the right side with a good ball back into the head of Serta on the far post.
Difficult for Tompkins to reach those high balls. She's only 5'6", so she's going to need some help.
She has a presence, though. She really does. She plays bigger than her size, and it's with her voice. It's how she communicates, but it's also in plays like that where she's not scared to go up and challenge in her six.
She's brave, that's for sure. Rasmussen gets it back. Here come the bus. Marty Pukatapu needs some support, but she gives it away. Fleming for UCLA. She's the boss in midfield, and she's bowled over by the New Zealand international. Marty Pukatapu, what a moment for her on Tuesday night in Cincinnati, making her fourth appearance for the senior team. A little clumsy here, though.
But how about the awareness of Fleming? She saw Pukatapu coming. She looks over her shoulder, knows that if she's going to dribble, she's going to have to make it hard for Pukatapu. Either you're going to take the ball from me or you're going to foul me, and it was the latter for Fleming, and it was a really good, smart play by probably, to me, the smartest player on the pitch today.
Wide on the left-hand side. Korniak loses out, and once again, popping up at the right place at the right time is Jessie Fleming. Olympic bronze medalist last year at the Brazil Olympics. Played a prominent part in that run. Central of the team, and you can talk about her individual accolades until the cows come home, that's for sure. Part of the 2015 Canadian team at the Women's World Cup as well. But it's a Pac-12 conference opener between the UCLA Bruins and the Buffaloes of Colorado. The only goal coming on the 59th minute from Ashley Sanchez on a wonderful run from Annika Rodriguez. Christian Miles alongside Jordy Angeli. Still got plenty of soccer ahead as we hit the midpoint, and some wholesale changes coming in for the UCLA Bruins. Here's Max Serta. Locates Delaney Sheehan. He finds her way into the Colorado half. Sanchez, the first touch repelled by Greening. Sanchez goes down, and UCLA will have this free kick.
And it was after the play when Sanchez had played the ball through. Here's the ball in by Sheehan, and Sanchez just keeps going backwards. Not a foul to me, but that's why I'm sitting over here and I'm not the referee.
I'll let them have the hard job.
Yeah.
That's the hardest job in the entire field. That one whips straight in. Cleared away with relative ease. Rather obvious. Read by Aaron Greening. This one in the balance, you could say. UCLA trying to exact revenge after that loss at Prentup in 2016. You can bet they remember it. Fleming gets it back. Sheehan done well to find her way to Max Cerda, and the fullback bearing down once again. UCLA and bringing on their substitute, Marley Canales, another one of those international players. Had the U.S. under-20 set up. More a testament to the depth of UCLA when you're bringing players of that quality off the bench. Canales actually sitting out the 2016 season to participate at the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup last year in Papua New Guinea.
She's made appearances in this squad, but few and far between. This is her 8th appearance, so it's not like she's not playing in every game, but not as many minutes as you would expect from a U.S. international. So this UCLA squad is so deep, and they have the ability to bring on players and keep the level high, if not higher than it was before they make the subs.
That kind of illuminates a point that Amanda Cromwell is making to you and I this week, saying, hey, just trying to find enough minutes for this team has been tough. It's a juggling act. Here's Cerda now for the Bruins. A crossover and out of play. Goal kick now for the Buffs.
You go back to that juggling act. This is a squad where when you have that many good players, it's not only who's performing, but who's performing with who. They're all at a top level. And then, okay, maybe Sheehan and Mace work better together, or Cerda is good on the wing with Dunphy. And how do you figure out those intricacies of a squad that as deep as UCLA is?
Well, the wind is really kicked up. 20 minutes remaining between these two. The 10th meeting all time between Colorado and UCLA. Marty Pukatapu fouled from behind by Mackenzie Cerda. UCLA head-to-head in the all-time series, 7 wins to Colorado's 2. Even though UCLA lost last year, they do have that big feather in their cap, winning 8-0 here against Colorado back in 2011 in the Buffs' first year in the Pac-12 Conference. Standing over it, however, is Cassie Phillips. She defers to Joss Orija, who gives it a ride. UCLA trying to clear their lines, and Colorado able to win it back. Over the head of Pukatapu. Good clearance from Cerda. This is Dunphy, the substitute for UCLA. And here's the energizer in midfield. The relentless Jessie Fleming riding the challenge from Massey before she's brought to ground.
And you could tell right away Massey wanted to slow the play up, try to get a professional foul here and stop Jessie Fleming from getting any kind of speed going forward. She missed a couple times. She got the foul there towards the end.
Fleming appealing, saying, hey, what about the grabs on my shoulder? Referee turning a blind eye to it. So free kick setting up for the Bruins right now. They are in the driver's seat. But still a lot of soccer remaining as Canales stands over. We'll see what UCLA draw up here. Kept low, not the best of deliveries. Tracked down by Karina Rodriguez, the freshman center back. McCullough. skipping past everybody. How about the feet of Sanchez? Thought she'd found Haley Mace, but it's well intercepted in the back by Kelsey Agnes. It's a certain tense feeling throughout this stadium right now. It's got very, very quiet.
It's the first game of Pac-12 play, and it just shows you how deep this conference is. The CU playing a tight game against UCLA, not only the best team in Pac-12, but the best team in the nation, and it means a lot to them and the fans. The fans have really showed up here in Boulder today to support their Buffs. It's been a fun match to watch transpire so far.
Here's Matlich for UCLA. Carries for sweet feet of Haley Mace. The cross in, far post there is Sheehan. Serta puts it right back into play. Rising was Mace and met by the challenge of Alex Vidger and cleared away by Origel. Lovely first touch there from Korniak, but it drifts over the touchline, and a throw in now for UCLA. A double switch upcoming now. Barton and Kinsner back in for the Buffs. Phillips and Pukatapu off. Zoe Gorowski, meanwhile, checking back in. And a short shift for Marley Canales and UCLA.
And I like Gorowski coming back in. She's been a player, I think, maybe a little underestimated in how much impact she has on the UCLA squad. She plays on the outside, maybe doesn't get the ball as much as a Fleming or a Sanchez when they play straight through the middle, but her pace, her work rate is something that I think they really lean on.
Here's Serta. Haley Mace dropping into a deeper role here, operating as a shield in front of that center of that UCLA defense. Could signal a change in the tactical approach. Sanchez. So comfortable on the ball. Rounding past one, it's Sanchez, and the block is in. It may drop, and it's Matlich. Sends it wide. UCLA really enjoying a good spell, though.
And Sanchez picks the ball up, and she just is eager to go one-on-one, inside, outside, brings it to her right foot. The play, though, by Greening Fedor, to get down on the ground, block the shot from Sanchez was key for CU. They have 15 minutes here, and it's not that they're that far out of the game. I think they're creating, you said it, there's a tension in the air, and I think UCLA feels that as well.
Here's the Bruins. Right in at Ashley Sanchez goal in the 59th minute. Rodriguez shouldering the challenge that time of Korniak. High pressure now from the Buffs, trying to win it back. Easier said than done.
UCLA is so comfortable on the ball from their front runners to their back line. They can withhold a little bit of pressure.
Fleming trying to link up with Ashley Sanchez. Origel has her pocket picked by the Bruins freshman, and here come UCLA once again. Far side, Gorowski full steam ahead, trying to cut her way past Origel to no avail. It's interesting now. Colorado forced to come out of the shell just a little bit, and they've got to be careful in that situation.
They absolutely do, and as we get to see a little bit of a rainbow from the distance of some showers that passed us a little bit earlier. We're thankful for the sunshine right now, but the Buffs, they're going to have to come out of a shell, and I think what's interesting about that is when Origel just lost that ball, she was hounded by Sanchez, and we talk about how attacking-minded this UCLA squad is, but the work rate they have defensively from the front runners is big time. It helps them win the ball back higher on the field and create chances.
Here's Mackenzie Serta now for the number 1 UCLA Bruins. Trying to remain undefeated on the season. Fleming lays it off. Sanchez trying to play it forward. Had the run of Matlich, but couldn't connect. And here is Mace, utilizing her defensive skills now. Onside for Serta, goes to the byline, pulls it across, but straight to the gloves of J.J. Tompkins.
Tompkins in the right spot as Serta comes from the shadows over there, finds a little pocket of space, but Tompkins covering her near post well.
Kinsner loses out. Bruins able to win it back again for another spell. Dumphy, who's filled in the width on this left-hand side. And here comes the sophomore from Carlsbad, California. Makes a run to the byline, but Colorado defense just gets enough of it. You know, hey, we've been talking about Colorado's defense. Let's talk about this defense for UCLA. Look, it's not their bread and butter, what they're known for, but if they can hang on, it's a team that's looking for its third shutout of the season from a school that has allowed more goals than any other school in the Pac-12 in non-conference play, with the exception of Arizona State. So this will lift their confidence as well.
It definitely will, and when you have a team that can score so many goals, sometimes that leaves you vulnerable at the back just with the numbers you throw forward. So UCLA's back four has had, and their goalkeeper have had a challenging go, but I think this is a good performance for them so far, especially with the counterattacks that CU has been springing on them.
Vidger's header chested down by Fleming. Kinsner did well there. Canadian international teammate, now her adversary today. Mace will chest it forward. Another interesting role for Mace. You've seen her in the center defense, as you mentioned earlier, throughout 2016, and now exactly in the heart of that back four, but just in front of it. She can do it all. Here's Dumphy. Puts it on that right, goes for goal, and really not enough power to beat J.J. Tompkins, who read that one all the way.
There's good touches by Dumphy. Ends up not getting as much on it, but I like moving Mace back into that holding mid.
And here comes Tatum Barton with a rare foray forward. She'll need some support, and she'll get it in the form of Sarah Kinsner with a little step over. Confident, to say the least. Here's Becca Rasmussen. This is where the Buffs could use a good spell of possession as they look to carve open the Bruins. Barton onto it. Second ball may drop, and safely into the breadbasket of Teagan Micah.
In the wind and the way the ball bounced, it was just a little awkward there. Micah making it look easy. Tatum Barton doing a good job on that build-up play for CU of holding possession, allowing her teammates to come forward and help her out by just connecting that next pass.
Here's Gorowski. Cuts it inside on Origel. In the end, good recovery. The save from Tompkins and cleared away by Vidger somehow or another. UCLA able to squeeze off that shot.
J.J. Tompkins has been humongous tonight, keeping the Buffs just down by one goal, and it's saves like this. Jessie Fleming cuts across. Tompkins covering her near post and having to dive across the other way.
Korowski's cross. Here's Courtney Fedor. Looks as though it drifted out of play, so it will be a goal kick for J.J. Tompkins, who made her fifth save moments ago, and seeing changes again. Cassie Phillips and Erin Greening checking in as Fedor, as well as Megan Massey, come off. Just a little over 10 minutes remaining here at Prenton. Colorado still well within shot of this one. Rasmussen. She's going to take up a role central here. Not something we've seen a lot of, but shows you the versatility. You got to make note as well, this is an attack that's missing Hannah Shade in midfield, but Libby Garrity, the freshman, is supposed to play a big role and be a starter this year, along with Stephanie Zuniga, who led the team in assists last year, as well as Jorian Bockham, the transfer from LSU, lost through injury. Bockham scoring 10 goals for Louisiana State last year, so they're missing some key parts in their attack. Testament to their coaching and how well they've approached this season without those players. But over to the top now for Jessie Fleming, trying to work her way through. It's Delaney Sheehan, and a super save once again by J.J. Tompkins. UCLA just weaving their way through as this one opens up.
And that's what happens when CU starts to push a little bit more for a goal, is there's going to be pockets of space, and a player like Delaney Sheehan loves that. She loves to dribble 1v1. She'll eat up the space in the midfield, and there she created a good opportunity for her teammate in Fleming.
Well, you've been calling her name all day long. J.J. Tompkins to the rescue.
And here she is, Sheehan with her right foot, just off of the shin, it looked like, of Tompkins, but it all counts the same. You keep it out of the back of your net, and J.J. Tompkins, once again, just playing out of her mind for CU.
She's only allowed 3 goals this entire season. As he mentioned, coming in today, 3 shutouts. Of course, not going to get her 4th, but that goals against average took a little bit of a dent. She came in with the 11th best in the entire country. So Vidger wins the header. Mace in that holding midfield role, shouldering and withstanding the challenge from Becca Rasmussen. Matt Lynch plays it out. Is there a way back for the Buffs? Vidger. We're seeing UCLA retreat into more of a defensive shell. As Greening just lumps it forward, trying to pick out Barton. Karina Rodriguez will let it run for her goalkeeper. And you look at the numbers here, Jordy, kind of tells the story.
Yeah, 16 shots for UCLA. They've had the majority of the possession. And only getting 1 in the back of the net. The saves by J.J. Tompkins have been huge. CU having a couple shots on goal, but nothing that have been too challenging.
Time becoming a factor. 83rd minute throw in for Aaron Greening and the Colorado Buffaloes. They haven't lost on their home ground this year. Anna Cromwell having some words with the 4th official. Not too pleased with the way things have gone. Martin. She's got Phillips with her good turn. She had the run of Kinsner, but it was well read by Kaya McCullough. Had to hold her ground, and she didn't step. Fleming. So tricky, wrestled by Vidger. Play is going to stop. Vidger is going to be called for the foul here. And the referee is going to give a booking to Alex Vidger.
It's all because, well, that pull by Vidger on Fleming's jersey, but the first touch by Fleming, she sees the pressure of Vidger coming. She decides to step over the ball, allow it to go roll past her. She thinks a play beyond. Jessie Fleming does, and it's one of the reasons why she commits so many fouls is because players are playing 2 steps too late.
Good run here from Gabby Matlich as Vidger picks up her 2nd yellow card of the season. Bruins in the driver's seat, and here's Annika Rodriguez, who carved open that Colorado fence single-handedly on that goal for Ashley Sanchez. She's still at it. It's so hard to dislodge off the ball at that low center of gravity. Mace. Matlich, the senior fullback from Los Gatos, California. Can't get her way past Joss Origel.
On that play, Taylor Korniak went all the way back and between the center backs, trying to be a presence in the air to win anything for CU. I'm anticipating her to do a lot of work, both defensively and attacking-wise here for CU in the last few minutes of the match.
Here's Sanchez, who tracks it down. Taking on Agnes, 1v1. Colorado defender with her every step of the way. The cross. Dunphy saved nearly by Tompkins, but Dunphy would not be denied. UCLA headed for 3 points. 2-0 late on here in Boulder.
Dunphy has put in some really good work in the second half. Come in, been a presence, and she just finds herself in a good pocket of space right in front of the back line. It's her first goal on the season for Sunny Dunphy. And Sanchez plays the ball across. In the air, Dunphy takes it in this nice pocket of space right by the penalty spot. And a volley, just the way it spun was tricky for Tompkins to get a good handle on it. And Dunphy finds her first goal of the season. It's got to feel good.
Her 2nd of her career after scoring that OT winner at Arizona last year. Sunny Dunphy, didn't she take it well? Hit it on the volley, delicately caressing it in up that side foot. That's where we stand. And how about the play of Ashley Sanchez with a hand in both goals, just as she did against Virginia. And that 2-1 win against the number 8 Cavaliers back on the 7th of the month. Ashley Sanchez continuing to put together an impressive freshman season.
She's so calm and composed on the ball.
And she's right back at it, trying to split those central defenders to no avail. And one would think it's nearly insurmountable right now unless something miraculous can transpire for Colorado. Barton trying to turn. Lays it off. Phillips. Can she find the lane? Korniak off the crossbar. Great effort from Taylor Korniak, but off by a fraction.
Wow, and that rattled the whole goal as Korniak hit it perfectly right off the center, maybe dead center in the middle of the post, too.
And here's Origel as Colorado continue to press forward. They get one late here, could make it very interesting for the final few minutes. Phillips. Kinsner trying to backheel it through. It nearly ricocheted, but in the end, pretty easy. But Taylor Korniak coming very, very close to her 6th goal of the season.
There's a really nice ball into her, and there it is, right in the middle of the goal, off the center of the crossbar. Korniak strikes it well.
It was on the half volley. Oh, and Ashley Sanchez is in, riding the challenge. Out comes Tompkins, and it was shoulder to shoulder. The referee's going to call this one back. Was it a foul against Tompkins? It looks as though it is. It's going to be a trip to the spot for the UCLA Bruins.
And I think the referee called the initial foul that Tompkins fouled her outside of the box, but it's the work of Sanchez. She just pressures the ball early on, and there's the foul outside the box by Tompkins. The play goes on. Tompkins and Sanchez going, battling hard.
So just outside of the box, it is a free kick on the edge. Colorado will protest this. Decision is made. And UCLA able to put it through.
And this is a hard spot. It's so close to goal. It's right on the 18. It's hard to get it up and over the wall. These are one of the things that maybe they're using Sheehan as a target player.
So Sanchez hits it straight into the wall. And Colorado able to clear. Matlich puts it in. And Kinsner brings it down. Interesting on that foul. It could have been a last man rule. But if that's the case, the keeper gets the yellow card. They might have been eligible for red. And that's a matter of contention here.
Yeah, the sidelines got a little heated after that one, and I think both teams have a fair point, as Cardenas was right there alongside, probably even with the original foul on with Tompkins. So was she the last player back? I don't know, but the foul and then the play got kept going on, and I think that's where there was an issue.
It was outside of the box, very close to being inside. Meanwhile, Colorado brought on Kate Joella, their freshman forward from Highlands Ranch, Colorado, trying to throw everything forward right now. Inside of 2 minutes. Off the head of Annika Rodriguez. What a game. What a way to start the Pac-12 season.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch both of these teams just tactically try to out.
But Vidger's got to be careful. She's carrying a yellow card, and Alex Vidger is going to be booked here. That's her 2nd yellow. And she's going to have to come off. So Colorado down to 10 men.
And the play is the same exact play from the first yellow card. The ball is getting away from them in the midfield as the play starts to open up. And here, Sanchez just gets underneath the arm of Vidger, and Vidger pulls on her arm, and for me, yes, it's 2-0. It's maybe an unnecessary foul to take your red card like that when you're down 2 goals with a couple minutes left in the game.
And Vidger sees their side go down to 10 men and will not be available for the trip to Washington State coming up on Thursday. And his scoreline is not going to really reflect the true nature of this game. UCLA, of course, will get the clean sheet and will record their 8th win in 9 games. But it's Colorado who's with them neck and neck. And UCLA really had to work for it.
Yeah, and Colorado created some good opportunities. So they probably got taken away from a penalty, an earned penalty that we saw on the other end. I think Korniak's shot off the post, it wasn't without chances for Colorado, but UCLA has executed a lot better in the attacking third.
This really could have changed, but the margin is slim, and the UCLA Bruins exact their revenge after a loss in Boulder last year. 2-0 victors over Colorado. The goals coming in the second half from Ashley Sanchez, who provided the assist for Sonny Dunphy. And UCLA walk out with their 8th win of the season and remain unbeaten.
It was a great game. UCLA patient in the way that they were attacking. They allowed CU to work side to side, and they were fine with that until they found a way to break through. And it was from the width, which we thought in the first half that's where it was going to come from. Both goals getting across into the center of the box, and UCLA putting it away.
So Colorado come up short, sustaining their 2nd loss of the season, but UCLA sitting pretty after victory on their conference opener. UCLA 2, Colorado 0. On behalf of the entire crew and all the good people here in Boulder, my partner Jordy Angeli, this is Christian Miles saying so long from CU.